In this video, we're talking about coterminal angles. Coterminal angles are two angles that are formed by the same terminal ray. They're going to differ in angle measure by a full rotation or some number of full rotations. So in radians, they'll differ by a multiple of 2 pi, and in degrees, they'll differ by a multiple of 360. For example, these two angles, 495 degrees and 135 degrees, are coterminal because they differ by one full rotation. And you can see that if we draw an angle of 135 degrees and we draw an angle of 495 degrees, they end up in the same place. So that's the idea of coterminal angles. All right, we'll look at an example here. We're going to find the angle of smallest possible positive measure that is coterminal to the angle 945 degrees. So if we want to make it smaller, we need to start subtracting full rotation. So we're going to subtract 360 degrees until we end up below 360 degrees. So 945 degrees minus 360 degrees, that's 585 degrees. Now, we're still larger than 360, so we're going to subtract it again. 585 degrees minus 360 degrees is 225 degrees. And that's the angle we were looking for. Notice that every time we're going to be able to find an angle that's less than 360 degrees and greater than 0 degrees because the whole plane is described by that range of angles. So we're always going to be able to find something less than 360 degrees that's still positive, that's coterminal to the given angle. Now again, here we have 47 pi over 7, and we're going to find an angle coterminal to that. We're in radians now, so instead of subtracting 360, we'll subtract 2 pi. And we're going to do that until we get a number that's positive and less than 2 pi. (19 pi over 7), that's still bigger than 2 pi, so I'm going to subtract the third time. And finally, we've gotten to an angle measure that is less than 2 pi at full rotation. So that's the angle we were looking for. Notice that if I subtract 2 pi again, I will be negative. So this is the answer that we're looking for. Now we have negative 217 pi over 4 radians. Now at this point, it's going to get kind of time consuming to keep subtracting over and over and over again. So what you should do instead is use a calculator to just gauge how many times 2 pi goes into 217 over 4 pi so that we kind of know how many to add to this angle measurement. And that's going to be 27 times 2 pi. So if we add 27 times 2 pi to this angle, we get 7 pi over 4 radians. It looked like a 1. So that's the angle that is coterminal to negative 217 pi over 4. Now we have an angle that just says negative 30. There's no degree symbol, so you should take this to be an angle in radians. So we need to add a multiple of 2 pi to negative 30 in order to get a positive angle that's less than 2 pi. Well, pi is a little over 3, so we should get the smallest positive angle by adding 10 times pi to minus 30. And that's going to be the angle we're looking for. Since we weren't told to round or anything like that, we should leave the angle in its exact form, which is just that, negative 30 plus 10 pi.